day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope tonight, because it's time for another Road to Big Grin video. Yep. I was considering kind of making this like an isolated summer update sort of video, but based on what we're going to talk about and discuss, I feel like it's something that a lot of people could learn from. So, as you might recall, with the previous video in the series, we discussed the Easter dip. And I talked about potential opportunity and the issues I was having back then. I ran out of funds, didn't I? And I was like, you know what? Let's just endure it. Let's just tank it. I'm probably going to lose a bunch of buy orders and whatnot. It is what it is. Well, it's about 3 months later, because that was actually posted at the end of March. We've now entered the first week of July. So I've noticed something that needs to be addressed, and I'm sure some of you are probably already well aware of it. Have you noticed prices have actually dropped off fairly recently? I'm not 100% sure as to why it might be happening, but once I start going over all the details and whatnot, okay, maybe it might make sense. But this has happened twice now. I kept talking about this from last year, how randomly, as we ended June, the prices just kept dropping off. But in this particular video, you're going to realise, you know what? If we could just hold out for a little bit longer, we could still sell our skins for a much better price. Because, well, I've got some very good examples. We've got some interesting things to learn from. So, right, let's go ahead and start yapping. So recently, I have been talking about how prices have been improving very, very nicely. We endured the Easter dip, but funny enough, the Easter dip was only March. It was all of March and that was it. As we went through April, prices already started improving. As we went through May, I was incredibly surprised to see certain skins were already matching up to the prices they sold for back during the recent post-Christmas, aka January 2026. So this was posted halfway through May, and I was surprised. I was very much really surprised. I was sitting there and saying, you know what, you could probably sell some of your skins right there and then. A while later, or rather a month later, I posted this, and I had noticed that a lot of the skins had peaked in price. They have reached brand new all-time high prices. But one thing I kept talking about, was there even a June dip? Where is it? I can't see it. Little did I know, we were going through it. But it just wasn't that obvious 2 weeks into June. Because by the time we finished June, oh, hang on a minute, we have noticed quite a drop-off. Yes, indeed we have. So let's just quickly go over that then. So over to here I go, boom. I'd just like to point out we recently had the July 4 swipe. We've had a brand new apartment monument complex being added to Rust. Quite a lot of people were very curious and jumped in, but it also happened to coincide with July 4 weekend. A lot of North Americans very likely with their families and blowing their hands off with fireworks and whatnot. You know, you get the idea, as is tradition. But yeah, we didn't have as many people turn up compared to June 4 swipe. At the end of the day, so as long as the average player count is better, that's what we mainly care about. Because usually between these particular months, that being July and August, we tend to see more people playing. And of course, with more people playing, there's more demand for skins, there's higher skin prices, it's a great time to sell. So that's the main point and the main thing that we're kind of working around today. That expectation, I'm still holding strong on. But of course, as we've already discussed, we've noticed prices dropping off as of recent. Now, there's actually a very straightforward answer as to why. Why would people suddenly feel the need to sell their skins? I wonder, oh, there you go. Yeah, Steam Summer Sale. So, yeah, probably the best discounts you're going to get until maybe around the end of the year. Although, to be honest with you, discounts for like spring and whatnot are still just as good. But the point still remains. We just had the summer sale. It's almost finished. I've still got some time to buy something, don't worry. But yes, yeah, a lot of people very likely started selling just to get some funds to go ahead and buy some cheap games. So not too hard to comprehend. It does make a lot of sense. And we do have some pretty good discounts right there. Have you bought anything? Feel free to comment below. So aside from that, okay then. So what's the damage? Can I also mention that with the recent Steam Market beta, certain extensions don't work. Now, for me in particular, I have so many Raskins, it seems to be causing an issue where I cannot use it. I cannot use my extensions. No. Other people here have told me that it's perfectly fine for them, probably because they don't have 6,000 skins. I think I have a lot more. Some of it's stacked. Anyway. So, that's not good. So people like me, we have to sell individually. I don't like doing that. It's not fun. So, okay, cool, understood. Maybe things like that might be a bit of a pain. Have you actually looked on the Steam market and seen it for yourself? So yeah, certain extensions do work perfectly fine with this now, which is nice to see. But in terms of inventory, I have issues and problems, and I'm not happy. Also, this is broken, as you might notice. Or rather, how it displays quantity is based on price. It's weird, it's weird. There's a reason why I prefer to look at it in the old version. And if I go back here, refresh, there you go. Now I can see it all perfectly fine. Yeah, so now when I look at the numbers, that makes a lot more sense. People selling like that doesn't make a lot of sense. Other people, yes, that's an incredibly smart thing to do. No, it's not. It's bad. Very, 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 very dumb. If you're wanting to make the absolute best potential profit, don't unload all of your stock right now, especially specifically now. So anyway, if I can't view my inventory very nicely, I could always use SCMM to APP. If I actually go ahead and look at my inventory, make sure I'm signed in, boom, there you go, I can see all my skins. But one interesting detail we have on SCMM is it'll actually tell you what your inventory value is, but it also keeps track of it. And as you can see at this graph, oh wow, at the very beginning of June, my inventory was worth over $70,000. But as time passed, and again, remember that video where I was like, no, we don't have an Easter, we don't have a June dip. Seems all right. Everything seems to be okay. I was slowly going down more and more and more and more and more. Now, this period of time does coincide with the summer sale. And very, very recently, I had a low point of just below $62,000. It appears on average, all Ruskins have gone down between 10 to 20%. Are we doomed? No. This happened before. That's what I'm going to teach you about. Because right now, honestly, there could be opportunity. You just haven't realised it. So, okay, cool. Can we talk about the how power count, though? All right, yeah, fair enough then. So the main point I'm trying to get across is I still want to sell the skins I have. I just want to make sure I sell them for the best potential profit. So as you can see, I still have a bunch of Ruskins. Again, I have some TF2 things I got for absolutely free. This isn't monetizable. I still have these packages I never bothered to trade away. I'm not going to sell them. Don't worry. It's just Ruskins. And I have picked up some pretty cool looking skins, of course. You might recall the Whiteout kilt, the accident. Well, I do want to sell it for some good profit. Or rather, at the very least, I want to get my funds back. I accidentally bought it at full price. And I was like, all right, well, I've got to hold on to it now. I've got to wait until times are good. And hopefully the prices improve. Has it? Well, as we've just discussed, dang, we're having a bit of a dip, aren't we? But maybe I can learn from the past and get a good visualization to kind of figure out what might happen next. So, okay, cool. Just get a quick look at all the other skins, by the way. Yeah, I still got all of these. And I have sold some, For a very long time, I had nothing. I had zero. I wasn't buy ordering anything. But then I was like, you know what? I could sell some skins during June. Although, to be honest with you, I probably should have waited a little bit longer. Again, I thought everything was all right. I only really noticed actual problems at the very end of June. So like a week ago. So anyway, get to the point, Hedge. Get to the point. Let's learn from the past. And then we'll talk about what you can do next. So, yeah. Seeker MP5. It's a usual mainstay on the front page because it's always being bought and sold and bought and sold and bought and sold. It's got a transparent aim sight. It's a pay-to-win skin. People like and people appreciate. People like and appreciate a lot of the Seeker skins, for example. It's a very in-demand set because, of course, a lot of pay-to-win skins. Anyway, focusing you. That has about 65,000 subscribers. And I'm led to believe there's actually about 100,000 of them in circulation. There's a lot of them available, but the demand for it is so strong that it actually manages to, you know, become a nice profitable skin. And you might make a lot more profit if you don't do stupid things like that. Anyway, that was fairly new last year. Fairly new, in demand, but it did sell an absolutely ridiculous amount. So for quite a long time, it had thousands of listings. But if I could just go back to memory lane from the past, you might notice that dipped down pretty badly. But it eventually starts to rise. And that happens as we have the July 4th wipe. So it starts to pick up, it starts to improve, kind of sticks there for a while. I'm led to believe there might have been a new skin that appeared that might have given it a boost. I'm also starting to notice a trend where during like the third week of July, it looks as if a lot of skins really start to ramp up in demand. I think it's due to the fact that in Europe, the third week of July is when the kids are out of school. That's when their summer holidays start. Now, you could confirm that, you could comment below if you want, but yeah, I'm led to believe the third week of July is when kids in Europe, that's when they leave school, that's when they have their summer vacation, their summer holidays, and that means even more people playing Rust. So, can you confirm that? Can you inform me, please? Anyway, yeah, it rose up ridiculously. So this actually peaks in price towards the end of July. And again, because there's so much of it on like the Steam market and whatnot, it doesn't last forever, but the demand is so strong that eventually when, you know, as time passes, it does gradually keep rising up in price. Now, very, very recently, again, as we've already addressed, prices appear to have reached an interesting high point around the beginning of June. But as we've already discussed, even we can see there's a dip here. But it hasn't really lasted that long because it's already starting to improve. Oh! So, okay, it looks as if that we're now entering the point where it's like, you know what, now we're going to start seeing improvement. Now we're going to start seeing prices do a lot better. And as I hop back over to here and look at my inventory, you might notice we're dipping. It stops. And now we're starting to improve. Lowest point, just less than $62,000. Right now, just under $64,000. Not a massive, insane gain, but it's beginning to improve again. So I'm going to have to go ahead and remind myself of this in the future. We're going to see some weird things happening around June time. Prepare yourself, Hedge. I'm sure I will, hopefully. But at the very least, making this video, you can learn from it as well. So, you know, next year, we'll probably expect the exact same thing to happen. And if we're prepared for such a thing, you could get some sales in around June time, at the very beginning of June at the very least, and then probably buy your skins back again at the end of June, or the beginning of July. But just get a good look at this. So, you know, January time, I've got some pretty decent like value here, market value, and it goes down a fair bit as we go through March. I wonder why, you know, Easter dip. But after that, prices improve, things are looking very, very nice, and then we have that dip. So, are we going to end up like what we saw with the Heat Seeker MP5, where we go down and then we go up? Just not as like dramatically down and out. So, you know what? Let's also go ahead and look at the Heat Seeker SAR. Again, another skin that came out last year. Very in demand. Did not sell as much as the MP5, but still very, very, very in demand. Now, coincidentally, last year, like a month after it appeared, we had the Bellum Twitch drops, the Spanish event Twitch drops, and Sillifer had a SAR with the exact same amount of transparency. Oh boy, that was not a fun time. So it suffered and suffered and suffered. And, well, hang on a minute. June time. Interesting. And it stops going down around the first week of July, and then it just shoots up and goes up in demand very, very nicely. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And of course, as time goes on, because there's a lot of them in circulation, it just kind of sticks around, goes up and down, and then fairly recently, it actually reached a brand new all-time high price here, it seems. Is that correct to say? Yeah, close to post-Christmas, I'd say. But we've dipped again. But now, we're already starting to improve. The cycle repeats itself. What do you reckon? Now, you could also point out, hang on a minute, Hedge. Didn't we see the Hellcore SAR earlier this year? Yes. Did we happen to see a certain Tribal Alloy SAR recently? Yes. And yet, it's basically matching up to the exact same pattern we saw last year. Maybe not as dramatically down and up, but it's trending upwards again. It's happening again. So, cool. Let's show off some other examples. So, Whiteout Hoodie, part of the Whiteout set, very in demand. People always craving it, yearning for it. $22, pushing up to $23 at the moment, but then again, 2 sales, it's up to about $25. Let's look at last year. What happened last year? So as I look over and see with my own eyes, there we go. Yep, post-Christmas last year. So January 2025 reaches an all-time high price, dips around March time, starts to improve around June time, but what's that? It dips for a while. Only a while. So yep, dips. Then into the second week of July, it bounces up and it actually peaks in price around halfway through August last year. Then, of course, inevitably, the autumn-fall seasonal dip, September, October, November. That's where we tend to see prices reach brand new rock-bottom prices. But then after that, of course, we get closer and closer to post-Christmas. And wow, did that rise up in price. Easter dip, rises up for June, dips again, starts rising again. So yes, we are starting to notice improvement. We're learning. Yes. So the reason why I bring this up is because it's a very in-demand set. The hoodie is always being bought. It's a regular skin that normally appears in the front page of our Steam market. It makes sense to show off and talk about it. But now, I want to talk about this. Comics AK-47. Did you see how high this rose up in price from October to January time this year? Let's go ahead and remind you. As we look over to here, wow. But let me go ahead and just kind of get the point across that as time has gone on, this has been appreciated for a very long time. It's a white AK-47. A lot of people that like to roam around in snow in their full whiteout sets, it greatly matches up with it. Cool. So as you can see, last year's post-Christmas rose up to a brand new all-time high price, dips as it goes through March and April, starts to rise up, and then it dips and it rises. Look, it wasn't very long. It was actually quite brief, but it does dip there. It's June again. And then, of course, it does like ridiculous gains. So, dips for March, kind of starts to improve as we get through June, dips again. However, there's also the added fact that we have another AK-47 that now competes with it. Say hello to the optimized AK-47. That came out. That sold for $3.49. It went down by $1. What? That is a transparent aim sight white AK-47 that lines up very, very nicely with the full whiteout set. What happened? June dip? Oh. Huh. But hang on a minute though. Didn't you say at the very beginning there's also opportunities available? Yes. And if we've dipped right now, it's a very in-demand, useful, pay-to-win skin. Haven't we already discussed this already? Yeah, oh, there you go. Much like the Heat Seeker skins, it's in that exact same position. Yeah, it dipped. What happens next? I wonder what happens next. Yes, there's opportunity available, isn't there? Yep. If only I got a barger on my Howpower account, because I can confirm to you, I have been picking up a lot of those optimized AK-47s, but unfortunately not on this particular account. It upsets me, it makes me sad. But you know what, at the very least, I do have other barters going through, like these Reptile Hunter tactical gloves. Hey, I'll take it. That's still a nice pickup. But I run out of funds by the time optimized appeared in a Ruster. Aww. So, hey, I'm also kind of talking about my other accounts in general as well. So, yes, there is opportunity available. I reckon I'll just hold on to my optimized skins for a little bit longer. I'm not sure what's going to happen with comics. I get the feeling it's like always going to be an in-demand skin. Like the Barders. Look all the Barders it has. It's not going down that much anytime soon. But this will be taking away a lot of the attention. And again, it's cheaper than what it sold for in the Rust store. What are you going to do, viewer? What are you going to do? So yes, I'm sure we've learned something. Looking pretty sweet, looking pretty interesting. But now, there's another thing we could also discuss. Tribal Alloy SAP. So, of course, we've got a brand new transparent aim sight SAP right here, which coincidentally appeared 1 month after the Tribal Alloy SAP, which also has a transparent aim sight skin. It is one. Basically, both of these are pay-to-win SAPs. Both of them are around $3. But based on what we've seen in the past, Seeker SAP, SAP, both of them sold for around the same price as these two. Both of these rose up in price very nicely, very recently, back in June time, reaching over $6 each. But now, after they've dipped a fair bit with both of these appearing, they're still holding strong. What do you reckon happens next? But more specifically, much like what we just discussed with the optimized AK-47, what's going to happen to these two? Now, if we keep seeing transparent aim sight SAP skins being accepted, okay, that will lead to more potential problems. But both of them are still in a very interesting spot, and we don't actually have that many transparent aim sight SAPs at the moment. Just these four that are available at a reasonable price. I'm definitely aware of the older ones. Yes, trust me, I'm fully well aware. But the prices they sell for, they're kind of out of our league. Let's just say that. So, all right, cool. So, yes, there are opportunities out there. You can definitely make some moves. You've just got to make some considerations. You've got to explore yourself. You've got to learn, all right? So, I can't really direct you to every single skin, but you can look around at some of the more recent skins that are accepted and start making considerations. Yes, in this particular instance, it is slightly above its rust or price, but if it ends up at $6, like the previous two SAP skins from last year, maybe that doesn't matter that much. Is it definitely going to work out all right? I mean, you can't really sit there and figure that out right now, can you? Can you? Can you foresee the future? Well, we have expectations. Not everything works out perfectly all the time, but we can still have expectations. And you know what? I'd like to think that most of the time things work out quite all right for us. Like, we wouldn't be succeeding if that wasn't the case. So, keep an eye on these things, start looking around, start making considerations. Here we have the Pirate Facemask, priced at $4 at the moment. Pirate Collection is in demand. Always getting sales, always in demand. So, yep, scrolling down, 39 sales today. Does look as if it's trending downwards, slowly. But if we could just look at sales history from the past, so yep, let's go ahead and do just that. Boom. As you'll notice, as we got closer and closer to June last year, yeah, it dips here. So that was improving. Dips, and it just skyrockets. October time, drops again. Post-Christmas time, rises, and oh, look, it's happening all over again. And this is a skin that's been around for a while. You can see it's ups, it's downs, it's ups, it's downs, it's ups, it's downs. It's easy to learn from. A lot of skins that are fairly older are like this. So start looking around, start making considerations, and think to yourself, right, I wonder what happens next after this dip. Well, actually, it's already starting to happen. It's actually starting to get a bit of improvement. Not massive leaps, but like what we saw some older skins a second ago, it does take a while, and then it might be the second week of July. It might be the second week of July or the third week of July, but we are expecting improvement, like proper improvement. So I'm keeping an eye out. And then one final thing, I can confirm revolvers are basically matched back up to their all-time peak prices already. Yep. Olympus Revolver, this is now sitting here at $8. And if I could just scroll down, back in June time, oh, they were doing good. But of course, we dipped. So June time, you had risen up to a very nice high point. Then we dipped. And, well, you know what? Now we're starting to improve already. And I don't think it's stopping here. Especially the fact that we haven't seen another revolver skin with a transparent aim sight been accepted in quite some time. Yeah, it's looking like it could just keep on improving. And it's not just this. It's Old Pirate Revolver. It's Heat Seeker Revolver. Look at them. Like, I had some listed because I was getting a little bit worried with the amount of funds I had in this account. And I forgot about them. And yeah, they just got bought out as we started to have the July 4th swipe. Yeah, just started to improve. And oh, look at that, by the way, look at that. I just bought a Dragon Glass Stone Hatch here for about, like, a 20th off the price. Yeah. That's a little brag, sorry about that. So, yeah, June dip. It is something that we have to learn from here on now. And honestly, if I didn't, like, keep looking at my inventory through here, due to the fact that the beta just kept causing problems for me, I wouldn't have actually visually noticed it that much. Like, I wouldn't have been able to figure that out. So, cool. And again, it's the 30 days where it's noticeable, more like specifically. So now, we're slowly starting to gain some momentum. Are we now truly starting to notice the beginning of the summer peaks? As we go through July and August time, all of these skins are expected to reach brand new all-time high prices. Hopefully, hopefully. I know some people are going to sit here and say, Hedge, what about like when GTA 6 comes out and whatnot? That's on console. It's not coming out on PC for another year and a half, maybe. I don't think that's going to affect us that much. I mean, of course, I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'm always keeping an eye on the player count. But, yeah. Are you going to go fork out $1,000 or so just to get a console, just to go play GTA? You probably would. You probably would, wouldn't you? But, yeah, I don't think we're going to really notice such a thing until it comes out on PC. That's how I think it's going to go. So, I wouldn't worry about that too much right now. But, yeah, as of now, with how things are currently holding up, things look pretty sweet. New things are being worked on. New monuments are being worked on. New content's being worked on. Things are still looking pretty sweet. And you know what? I can even mention something goofy. Yes, we have farm animals. We've got rabbits. We've got the rabbits, yeah. Cows, sheep, rabbits. All right, what do you farm from rabbits? I don't know. So, yes, I had to cancel my barter on it. Cheese, I've had to remove some barters as well. That's definitely happened. On How Power in particular, though, as I said, when I had nothing, I was like, well, you know what? I'll just leave it be. I'll see how it goes. But at some point, I have to look at all these barters now to consider to myself, you know what? Maybe I'm better off just removing them. Chances are, I might be one of the fastest people that put a barter down. But eventually, I only have so much money. And after I sell my things, I will only have so much money to work with as well still. I might have to just look and say, you know what? Maybe it's time to just remove it so I can do more barters and other things. I'm very happy to see the Reptile Hunter tactical gloves did work out though. But maybe I only end up buying 3. Do I really want to just keep that there, clogging up my potential maximum steam, what's the right term? My barter amount? There you go, sorry. Brain's not a bit... I've got an earache, sorry, I'm a little bit funny at the moment. You're always funny. Yeah, but I'm in pain. A lot of pain. Sorry if I sounded weird today anyway, and regardless. So, yep. All is good, but you've got to keep monitoring everything. You've got to maintain your account properly. So, alright, I've got some funds. I can pick up orders. I'm all for it. Come on, throw it at me. Cheap pickups, please. And I have to make sure that when I get enough funds to do barters again, I have to keep it at only 10. Preferably only 10. Because, yeah, if I request too much, it adds up too much, too quickly. Alright, so, yep, long ramble, long yap, but interesting things to remember, interesting things to be aware of, okay? So, 3rd or the very end of July, 3rd week or the very end of July, we should now start noticing potential improvements, actual proper gains. I'm looking forward to it. And then is the right time to start considering making some sales. I'm not rushing to sell you right now. I'll hold on to you for a little bit longer. I certainly am hoping that does manage to reach a brand new all-time high price. And with how things have panned out over the past few years, I am expecting it. Just go a little bit longer. Just got to hold. So, cool. Chances are you might have sold some things as well. That's fine, all right? But again, if you're really hoping to get some good profits, you've got to be a little bit more patient. Right then, so, again, maybe it might have been better off as a separate summer video, but I hope you walk away learning from this, and also, maybe some of you are quite literally following me, quite literally. Maybe you're also trying to get up to a big win at some point. I still stand by my point though. I shouldn't have started with $100. I should have started off with more. Yeah, I'm starting to regret not doing it with starting off with 200, but hey, it's all part of the challenge. So hopefully, from here and now, I actually managed to sell everything I have, and then, well, it's time to try and start picking up a lot of interesting things as we go through the summer, but more specifically, cheap pickups as we eventually go through the autumn-fall seasonal dip. So I'll be doing barters, but I most likely won't pick them up until we go through October time, October 2026. And you might start to notice, oh well, we're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, Rust is fairly predictable, it is very routine, and once you truly realise that and understand that, you've got no excuse. You should be able to you should be able to make some profit from it, surely, right? Yeah. So, all right, cool. That seems to be everything that needs to be said. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you, goodbye. I should also point out, I know there's been like a bit of gaps in between and whatnot. I reckon I probably might do another video as we go through August. Sorry to kind of like stop it all of a sudden. But yeah, I want to show off the progress once it's all happened. Because as I said, from here and now, after that point, when I'm in August time, hopefully with all the sales happening, then I can show you all the brand new barders. And then I can look forward to October. So, right, cool. We got the point, Hedge. Right. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.